Hey YouTube, Pop Culture Fandom, and I am back with part 3 of my physical media collection. As you can see, I had to remove the first rows. I had to actually have to remove the first 2 rows in order to get these movies, to do these movies, because it was so hard pulling them out and then having the ones on top fall down in between. So it was a lot easier like this. So I had to remove the ones to do the last 2 rows. And I'm making another video. And like this video, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and check out the first 2 parts if you have not seen it of my complete Blu-ray, 4K, and DVD physical media collection. The rest of these, as I said before, are DVDs. I already did the Blu-ray and 4Ks in the first video, and this is part 3, and this is the third row. So we'll start with this end. The Legend of Zorro. Good sequel to the first movie. The first one is better. Hollow Man 2. This movie is a direct-to-video sequel to the first Hollow Man. With Kevin Bacon. Not as good as the first one, though. This one is a lot weaker than the first one. It stars Christian Slater. So, a lot of people probably don't know about this movie. That it exists, actually. So, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which I really didn't mind this movie a lot. A lot of people did not like it. The first one they thought was better. I didn't really mind this one too much. The Incredible Hulk, which is a lot of people's least favorite movie in the MCU. Resident Evil Damnation, an original CG motion picture. This is one of the Resident Evil CG movies that were released. I don't know if they were in theaters. I think they were in Japan. But again, I'm a Resident Evil fan, so whether it's live action or whether it's CGI or completely animated, I'm usually going to like it. Resident Evil Degeneration, which is the first CGI Resident Evil film. Resident Evil Vendetta, which is the third one. This movie didn't get good reviews. I think it's actually better than the first 2. They really updated and updated the animation, and yeah, it's a lot better than the first 2. Tomb Raider with the Angelina Jolie, the first one, I thought was really good. Angelina Jolie to me will still be almost the perfect Lara Croft. Kick-Ass 2. Not as good as the first one, but still okay. Fantastic Four, which is the first one, good. G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra, not as good as the second one, but still an okay adaptation, live-action version. The Grudge 3, which this movie was a direct-to-video release. I got this movie years ago. I think was at Walmart. And I actually remember that the cashier actually asked me how old I was when I bought this movie. I guess she wanted to make sure I wasn't underage. But yeah, I like the Grudge movies. All of them. The first one was the best. 2 was okay. 3 is not bad. It just the curse doesn't seem to end. So I think that's the most frustrating part about it. Identity Thief with Jason Bateman and Melissa McCarthy. So funny. I saw this movie twice in theaters. Deadpool. I'm not really a Deadpool fan like a lot of people are, although I will admit this is a pretty good live action version of that character. Ryan Reynolds does a great job as Wade Wilson. It's a little bit too jokey again, too comedic with the jokes, and I don't really mind the language, but again, too comedic. The Ring 2 Unrated Edition. I love the Ring franchise. The first film is obviously my favorite. This movie I don't have a problem with. So there is some inconsistencies with the the unrated version, which they added in a couple of scenes in the film, so it makes it look, it makes it look different than the actual movie, but not bad. The Karate Kid Part 3, this is the first movie of the Karate Kid franchise that I ever saw, was actually Part 3. So this movie has a special place in my heart for me being the first, it being the first one I ever saw. Very good movie, of course. I think it's really good. Ian Griffith is Terry Silver. Great performance. The next Karate Kid with Hilary Swank. This movie made me fall in love with Hilary Swank. She did an awesome job in this movie. This was her actual acting debut. I think her first feature film that she ever did, and she did a phenomenal job in this movie. To tell you the truth, I don't even miss Ralph Macchio. I mean, I thought this movie was still, it wasn't as good as the original trilogy, but a lot of people don't give this movie, the credit it deserves. And it has Mr. Miyagi, so that's another reason why I like it. The Karate Kid 2, the story continues. Not a big fan of this movie as much as the first one, but still okay. The Crazies, another good horror film that I did see in theaters, really liked it. Superman Returns, I understand a lot of people's problem with this film. One, it's way too long. Two, there's not a lot of action. There's more a story based, which is just like the first two X-Men films. There's not a lot of action, so I can understand people's problem with this movie. But it's still a Superman movie, and I love my superheroes. So, X-Men Apocalypse, not bad. They could have did Apocalypse a lot better than they did. The Other Guys, I actually have not seen this movie. This was given to me by my neighbor, and I still have not watched it yet. So I have to watch it and see if I like it. Daybreakers, this is a vampire movie. Oops. Very good vampire movie. Ethan Hawke does an awesome job. Willem Dafoe is good. Classic line from this movie is quoting Elvis said it best. The truth is like the sun. You can blot it out for a time, but it ain't going away. Or you can block it out for a time, but it ain't going away. The Karate Kid, the first one, classic movie. Everyone should have this movie in their collection. And if you have not seen Cobra Kai, it's a must-watch too. Oops. Ready to Rumble. This movie, I don't even think is in print anymore. This movie was given to me by my best friend. It's, David Arquette and Oliver Platt, Scott Kane, about these two friends who are wrestling fans, who are pro wrestling fans, and WCW, around the time WCW existed. This movie actually reflected me and my best friend Brian. We were both wrestling fans, and we both used to just love watching this movie all the time. It was just so hilarious. So it was like, it's a very special one. Although I will say I hate these snapper cases. Cannot stand these cases. Ugh. The Da Vinci Code. Again, I have the book right there. The movie left a lot of things out of the book, so the book is a lot better, but this is still a very good, mystery thriller. Tom Hanks does an awesome job as Professor Robert Langdon, sorry. Terminator 3, Judgment Day, not as good as the second one, of course, or the first one, but still okay. Shazam, didn't think I would like it as much as I did. A little bit on the comedic side. I think DC did that, when they realized that Marvel was actually having more success, so they started making their movies a little bit lighter and not as dark. Can't wait to see Shazam! Fury of the Gods. That looks like it's going to be good. The Unborn. This is another movie that's like The Uninvited. It's a horror film, a spiritual, psychological, spirit haunting, and I like it. Disturbing. 4 films collection. The Matrix, The Matrix Reloaded, The Matrix Revolutions, and The Animatrix. I love The Matrix. Reloaded is good. Revolutions is okay, not as good as the first or near the second one. And have not really seen The Animatrix, so I just got it for the three films. The Call with Halle Berry. Very good suspenseful thriller. Abigail Breslin is great in this movie. One of Halle Berry's best, too. Classic, The Wizard of Oz. Have to have this movie. Love Judy Garland. This is my first time ever seeing her in a film. Fell in love with her since I first saw her in The Wizard of Oz. Classic, RoboCop, the 2014 remake, which is nowhere as good as the original RoboCop. You know, for me, that's just not RoboCop. You don't make him all black, red visor. RoboCop is silver. Yeah, they should have just kept him and stuck closer to the original. But I understand why they wanted to do their own thing. X-Men Dark Phoenix. This movie is, I didn't have a problem with it. While a lot of people did. It's considered one of the worst X-Men movies ever made, and a terrible way to end the Fox X-Men franchise. But again, I liked it. Not bad. And I'm an X-Men fan, so anything superhero related, good or bad, I'm going to pretty much buy. Silent Hill, another good video game adaptation. I thought it was really good, really creepy, really scary, really nerve-wracking. The Rocketeer, I love this movie. I grew up watching this movie. My dad took me to see this film in the 90s. I remember when it came out in the early 90s, saw it in theaters. Back then, they were using film instead of digital, but, you know, this has become a cult classic. It really has. And I heard they're thinking about making a TV series or maybe even rebooting the franchise, but this is another movie with the beautiful Jennifer Connelly. She looks absolutely, she was just amazing, stunning as Jenny Blake. So, another very good one. The Amityville Horror 2005. I didn't see the original 1970s one. This is the first one I ever saw, and this movie got good reviews. Very good, very scary, very suspenseful, very disturbing. One Missed Call. Oh my goodness. What to say about this? This movie has been forgotten. This movie does not get mentioned. I barely even see anyone online or on YouTube that has it in their collection. I feel like I'm the only one who ever has this movie in their collection. You know, for me, the special effects, of course, were not, you know, the story wasn't good. Special effects weren't well done. But overall, it's still a creepy, disturbing film. And I saw it and I liked it, so that's all that matters. The Spirit, another movie that probably no one has or even talks about. Didn't really like it at first, but more and more I watched it. It grew on me, and I began to like it even more. And then, you know, I can definitely quote. I have some favorite quotes from this movie. The Heat with Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy. It really was one of the funniest movies of the year. McCarthy is just hilarious. Sandra Bullock is awesome too. This is one of her best comedies. The Boy, another psychological thriller, kind of horror film about a doll. The ending is the reason why I like this movie a lot more than I initially did, is because the ending was really good. So if you have not seen this movie, the ending will shock you. Sort of almost like Annabelle, but not quite. Bumblebee. Oh my goodness. I like this movie. I think it was a very good addition to the Transformers franchise. Haley Steinfeld. Oh, I love her in this movie. Again, there's that one movie where that one actress shows up and you fall in love with her. And this is it, man. This is the movie that made me love Haley Steinfeld. Spider-Man Far From Home. Not bad. Avengers Endgame, one of the best superhero films of all time and quite possibly the best movie in the MCU. Saw this movie twice in theaters. Very emotional at the end. If you've seen it, you know what it is. And it's the end of an era. So, rest in peace, Tony Stark. Captain Marvel, I'm actually there with everyone else, mixed on this movie. It's like, not great, but not terrible, in the middle. Angels and Demons, which is the sequel to The Da Vinci Code. Again, Tom Hanks is great as Professor Robert Langdon, does another great job in the movie. Not as good as The Da Vinci Code, I think, but still not bad. Silent Hill Revelation, I feel like this is another movie no one has but me. The first one is good. I don't have a problem with this movie because I'm actually a fan of the Silent Hill movies. I mean, the Silent Hill games. So, of course, any movie based off a video game or any movie that's based off a comic book, I'm going to love. Silver Linings Playbook. Oh, Jennifer Lawrence, my girl. Love her in this movie. She does an awesome job. Sorry about the glare. Another great performance by her and Bradley Cooper. And of course, she did win the 2012 Best Actress Academy Award winner for her role in this film. And of course, it's directed. It's directed by the same guy who directed Joy, and the ensemble cast: Chris Tucker, Sir Robert De Niro. The whole cast is just great. And Jennifer, I love her in this movie. Again, another movie that made me fall in love with her and her characters. Deadpool 2. More of the same of the first one. So I'm like kind of mixed on it. Like, it's okay. But again, just too comedic, not serious enough. Watchmen, I never read the graphic novel. This movie for me is it's just too long. It's over like 2 hours. The plot kind of drags on and on. So otherwise, not bad. I liked it. Need for Speed, another movie again that no one seems to talk about. This movie, of course, is based on the Need for Speed video game franchise. There is not much of a story. There's a little plot involving revenge and two race rivals going head to head, and one going to prison for a while and getting out and trying to get his revenge on the guy who killed his little brother. And all the while, though, I think it's a very good adaptation of the Need for Speed video game franchise. So I think they took a page from Fast and Furious, though. So it's like Fast and Furious, but with the name Need for Speed on the cover. The Strangers. This movie is very scary. It's creepy. It definitely will make you, if you come home at night with no lights on, it'll make you checking every crevice, looking out the window, trying to see what noise was that. Yeah, this is a home invasion movie that's pretty frightening. Supposed to be inspired by true events. Not sure if that's accurate or not. Ghost Rider, again, no. I didn't have a problem with this movie. Nicolas Cage, Eva Mendes, I liked it. It's not perfect, but again, no one seems to have this in their collection. No one seems to have Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance, which is the sequel, which is better than the first one. Not by much, but, still an improvement over the original. Charlie's Angels, Full Throttle. Cameron Diaz, Drew Barrymore, Lucy Liu. Great action movie. It's a lot better than the rebooted Charlie's Angels. The first Iron Man from 2008. Great movie. Kick-ass. Very entertaining. Yes, very entertaining, very action, and ask the question, you know, what would happen if an ordinary person decided to become a superhero or dress up and fight crime? And it shows you the consequences of those decisions, which are not very good. So, not a good idea. The Messengers, another movie I feel like no one has in their collection. Very good haunted house, scary movie. Kristen Stewart does a good job. She's great in this movie. And Dylan McDermott is also in it. Penelope Ann Miller. The first Charlie's Angels. This movie is kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. Used to watch it all the time. It came out in the year 2000. I have actually fallen off of these movies. Haven't watched these movies in quite some time. Don't even know if this movie is in print anymore on DVD. It's been hard to find. So, I don't know. Second to last, I Am Legend. Will Smith is awesome in this movie. Apocalyptic, end of the world. Last man alive. Such a sad scene. What happens with the dog and the decisions that he is forced to make. So it's heartbreaking if you love animals. And the last one, guys, of the third row is Elektra with Jennifer Garner. Again, no one likes this movie. No one mentions this movie. Even Jennifer herself has dismissed this movie as being bad. It's still an adaptation of the character. So it's like, you know, we have not heard or even had this character even mentioned again. So, you know, with that being said, you know, I love my Marvel characters. So any live action version that I get to see of them, I'm all in. So, not bad. And that is it for that row, guys. That is the third row of my physical media collection. And I will make another video, and the next one will be my last row, which is the last row. And thank goodness, because these videos are tiring. But it's worth it because I love to share my passion with, you know, my passion of movies, my passion of acting, my passion of Hollywood, the actors and actresses that I love so much, and the movies that I love so much. So I will see you all in the next video. And if you haven't, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It would mean so much to me. And check out the first two parts if you haven't seen it. So until next time, guys, peace.